Okay, guys, so I really enjoy starting my morning nice and early. I get up. It's nice when my body's in tune with the fact that it's time to get up on its own and I don't need an alarm. But we've just changed to daylight savings because, springtime. And it just takes that little bit extra for me to get into the groove of getting up early again. I love daylight savings. I love the extra hours that I get. And what I hate about daylight savings is the extra hours of daylight I get, because we tend to fill them, especially in spring. Once it gets hot in summer, and I'm talking like our 38 degree, 40 degrees Celsius feralness, we come inside in the afternoon in that real heat of the day. Sometimes we do inside jobs, sometimes we literally do nothing. And then we go back out in that cooler point of the day. So I guess that time of year is kind of nice because it's not as intense, but we still get heaps done. And anyway, I like to get up early and get my morning cup of tea, and I am super slow in the morning. Smarty cannot understand how I take so long to get firing, and I just do. Even when I worked in the gym, I would get up, have my cup of tea, and then I would have my breakfast. And yeah, I don't know, I like taking my time, I guess, a little bit in the morning. So I do. So have my cup of tea. I really like to sit outside and have it outside at this time of year. In winter, I don't tend to go outside as much. But the reason I also like going outside is because Maddie's often turned the TV on and you'll have Sky News playing, and I'm just not interested in the news. It's really unnecessary stuff. So yeah, I go out, have my cuppa, then I either come in or go out to the gym, do yoga, just some form of resistance training or sauna or cold plunge. So I try to do that 6 times a week, one of those options for 30 to 45 minutes. Then I come in, make my breakfast, and then I go start my day. So I am going to take you out. We're going to check out what's going on our property in spring, not the vineyard as such. You can check out our little Smarty Produce Instagram for that. I am currently out hand topping, but I may be put on the slasher today. We just did the coolest upgrade to our old slasher. So something that's been crossed off our to-do list for quite a while now. And it's so good. It's going to build our organic matter underneath our vines so much. We always do cover crops and mixed cover crops, and I've always kind of hated the fact that it's in the center of our rows. We don't hate it that it's there. That's where we need it. But, like our vines don't get that full benefit of it, like as if you plant it right in underneath. So our little upgrade is going to kind of create that without planting it underneath there. But anyway, you can check out the Smarties Produce Instagram if you want to see that. And anyway, I'm going to cook my breakfast, go do my chores, which I have shared with you in the past, and then I'll go do my jobs out in the vineyard. Then when this afternoon comes, I'll grab you again. So I'm currently in the office paying bills because unfortunately, even in farming, you still have to do that. And someone just cheeked in here. There's no babies yet, but someone is chirping. I honestly think incubators should have like a full clear roof. Like, I know they've got these, but come on guys, just make the whole fucking roof clear. Because I'm like peeping in the hole. This is probably the 5th time I've hatched eggs, and they're still just as excited. Probably hatched them all, let's be honest. I've got too many chickens, too many birds, but I love them. Okay, I've got my camera upside down. But half decent little extra harvest Considering those white spuds, I didn't even think they were going to germinate. They germinated that late. I think I only had 2 or 3 bushes actually shoot. They were a spud a friend gave us. So I have no idea what they are, but seriously. What? So, yeah, anyway, it's pretty cool. I'll go weigh these and add it to the rest of the telly for in the hothouse. But yeah, pretty happy with that. So spring is also tomato season, and I am just going through pruning my tomatoes. So I've already done this bed here. You can see it's nice and flowy. You can just, chances of disease spreading in this one has been minimized. And look at this. But, and I'm leaving these ones alone. They got, I don't know, I think because I've got cabbage in their bed as well, they just got a little bit stressed. So I'm not touching them. But this is the bed I'm up to. So I'm going to use my little gun to tape a few guys where I want them to be, to keep training where I want them to be, like this one, just like boom, but I won't do it like that. Yeah, so I'm gonna clean this up a little bit and then I'll show you the finished product. Now when you're pruning, it's important not to cut these guys out. These are your shoots that'll give you fruit. It's just these leaves that we're cutting off here. The chaos on this side. Can't even see my capsicums, just so much chaos. Alrighty, so this is this side. So much more airflow, like you can even see the leaves blowing. You can see through. I'll show you this side. And this is the other side. So when you are pruning your tomatoes, do not cut off all your leaf, because they need it to photosynthesize. But if you follow me on Instagram, you understand that I overcrowd my gardens. So they need airflow, otherwise they will get disease. So that's why I give the leaves a little prune back. And I do cut the occasional growth off if I feel like it's unnecessary or it's growing along the ground. And, your tomatoes are just going to go rotten on the ground anyway. So that's how I do my tomatoes. And on top of that, it is currently 7:15. We haven't even had tea and I'm out in the garden. So this is what I am saying about spring and daylight savings. It is the best, but it's the worst. Currently having one of those spring storms that we get here in Sunraysia, which are magnificent to be in if you're not making money out of farming and growing your own food, because they can also contain little round icy things. But there's some thunder, there's the lightning. So, not last night, the night before, we had the craziest spring storm. Like, can't remember having one like that in a while. We had 30 mil come down in 2 hours, and then the winds the next day were just atrocious, like 50-kilometre-hour winds. And fortunately, it's laid down a couple of my garlic patches. This is one of them. I just don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading and chatting to see what the solution is, because I've never had my garlic lay down like that before, and I don't know if it's going to affect it. Okay, so spring is chaotic, let's be honest. Lots is always happening. I've been busy on the vineyard as well with some hand topping, which I shared on our Smarty's Produce Instagram. If you, oh my goodness, I'm a disaster right now. If you don't understand what that is, you can go check it out. But yeah, so I had really been neglecting in here in the polytunnel. So today my morning has started in here, and I've already got a wheelbarrow full of weeds and clippings out of in here. I really had to get control of the spaghetti squash. Oh, there's Chunky. Hey Chunk! Can't you get in? You can't get in. And yeah, we laid some sand here for the ducks too, and a bit of weed control. And ultimately one day I plan for this to actually be a bit of a swimming hole, but that's another day's story. Yeah, so my spaghetti squash was like covering my walkway, and also starting to get in behind the seedling rack. And because we've already seen 2 snakes so far, and it is only like the 3rd week of October, we are going to be very vigilant, because obviously this year is going to be an intense year for it. So we're having a bit of a cleanup, which hence the bin you saw in the background as before. That's not normally here, but we've just got a couple of things that I'd like to throw out, and that was just the easiest option. But anyway, rambling. Yeah, so I've come in here today. I have this cleared space and a leak, which I have the necessary tools to fix in just a moment. But I'm actually going to fill this in with some corn. So I grew some corn in here, only actually got 1 to grow in here, but it was fucking amazing to have that corn. And somebody's told me put more corn in here, even though we don't really need it to be in the hothouse at this time of year. But I thought I'm going to try it, because he also said that because the corn will be growing in here, we'll put the shade cloth over the top to control the temperature. And I just want that shade cloth done. So do you know what? If I have corn fail in here to get what I want, I'll do it. Okay, and I thought I'd quickly show you what else I got growing in here. Got a couple of jalapenos. I'm going to throw a few more in. My nieces freaking froth over my sweet chili sauce, so need to get lots for them. Then I've got a variety of beans, some self-sowing potatoes apparently, peanuts. I've never had amazing success out in my garden bed, so I thought this year I will plant them in the polytunnel and see if they love that extra temp in here. Then there's a bit of sweet potato in here. That's my earwig trap, which is full. And then my rosellas are in here as well. This is the spaghetti squash that has had quite the cleanup today. It's growing over my carrots, and another sweet potato, a purple one. And then yeah, a few more seedlings here that majority need to find a home. So excited, I finally noticed. Where are they? Where are they? Here. I finally had a chocolate capsicum come up, guys. Oh, so excited. And I've only had 1 cayenne chili come up. And yeah, a few more squashes and stuff to go out. These guys, my asparagus, are going to stay in here most likely for the whole season. I just want to get nice big lush crowns to plant out in autumn. Then I have my Australian ginger, which I didn't really get much success with outside, so they're in here this year. And I also have turmeric, ginger, and I'm gonna say turmeric. So there's obviously a black one and a yellow one somewhere. That one has shot. Coffee plant, not really loving its life, but it'll get there. Actually, maybe because it's not getting watered. There we go. Then some more flowers coming up in here, or herbs and stuff. So yeah, they'll get planted out somewhere eventually. And then I have some valerian, which I will grow in a pot. A few dahlias and tomatoes and capsicums from my friend Mel at Sunny Day Farms. She is on Instagram. Then This is a dragon fruit. I'm getting started for my auntie. I'm going to do a full video on dragon fruit, and it is definitely ready to go. She asked me about that yesterday. Anyway, what have I got here? Licorice root and some blueberries and some weeds, I'm going to say. Oh, there's some avocados I'm trying to start. And then I've got some vanilla, and I need to learn about vanilla because it's going to be planted in here because it likes that environment. But that's what's going on in the polytunnel mostly. My zucchini still going strong, and tomato. There is a tomato on this somewhere, but it's not ready. See, so many tomatoes happening in here. There's been one in here for ages, and I'm just absolutely hanging out for an early tomato. And yeah, that's sort of the main things going on in here. Oh yeah, my pineapples that I moved into here. Thought they might like the humidity because they like Queensland weather, and we do not really have Queensland weather. So they are also in here. For those of you that know, this is snow, and snow does fucking weird shit. I guarantee you I'm going to find a week's worth of eggs where she is right now. Everyone still alive? They all alive, Chunk? Still living? Hey? Hey? What's in there? Chip chips? Next, we're on to some weeding. So these beds are getting chaotic. They're leftover winter beds. But I mean, hello, orange cauliflower. Are you not the most beautiful thing? I fucking love my orange cauliflowers, guys. Will be the first one for the season after some brassica disasters this year. We'll share more another time. What? Yeah, weeding's part of gardening, unfortunately. When you leave the earth exposed, she will cover herself. So that's my own fault. These beds weren't covered because I was coming back to plant them, and I have not. Self-inflicted. So I'm going to put you on a little time lapse, little music, and I'm going to get weeding. It didn't take me that long, and I decided to mulch as I go because then I'm not going to have the same problem. Top tip, mulch as you go. But I did have trouble at one point getting mulch from where I normally get it from. So not making excuses for myself, but also making excuses for myself. So yeah, done. On top of that, this is a beetroot that I've let go to seed intentionally to keep the seed. Like seriously, look how big that bad boy is getting. Loving it. So guys, as you can see, spring is busy. There is so much to do, and it's also ramping up in the vineyard. So lots of stuff to happen everywhere. Yesterday my back flared up, unfortunately, so I have decided I'm gonna wrap up this vlog by sharing what I do. Just one last thing to help with my crop rotations and my planning. Okay, so I have always done like a sketch like this, whereas now I have got myself a little book, which I have my template. This is to scale for my garden beds, and I just put this in underneath, you know, the sheet, and I can trace over it. It's pretty easy. Yeah, so that was what was in there for September. And then this was my plan. So what I have been doing is, as I have put those things in there, I'm writing them with pen, almost like a confirmation that that's definitely what's happened. This will get written over as well. These guys are going to be moved, so I've sort of wrote myself some notes as well, and things obviously can change. I hadn't planned to put capsicums here, but it was fine for my crop rotation because it was cauliflower. And then this was originally going to be tomatoes here as well, but I have room to sort of put tomatoes elsewhere, and I wanted the blue butterfly pea here so I could see it. Yeah, so I just find planning it out like that, it's definitely not some glamazon thing. I'm not drawing all the beautiful little sketches and stuff, but it gives me a chance to just work out my crop rotation, visually see it, and by having it all in my book now, I'm going to be able to flick back and make sure I'm keeping my crop rotation really on point. So I put compost in quite regularly on top of my beds. Sometimes it's just a matter of I'm like, oh, that one looks a little low, so I'm going to top it up with compost, or I'll put it in after a heavy feeder always. So that way, you know, you're constantly sort of looking after your soil health. You're less likely to get pests and disease pressure. And yeah, by keeping it around, instead I always just had like this A4 piece of paper, and I'd like sort of scribble the messiest of little things, and I'd shove it in my diary that I have. Actually, I'll show you my diary too before I finish it up. I'd shove it in my diary, and then I'd have to go finding it, and then I'd lose it. And anyway, this is all. And then this is my actual planting diary. So this has evolved over the years from absolutely no planning and recording to planning and recording. So I just write down, I just put it on my Christmas list, and I don't care if it's like a literal $2 diary from the cheap shop. I just, you know, the whole going excessive for Christmas doesn't bother me that much, so I'm more than happy to just say, hey, I need that. But yeah, I write my little notes in there, what I planted, where I planted them. When I get a particular seed or like tuber, I will shove that in there as well. Then, because when I dig it out, I can shove it in its thing. But let me find a new mug. I also have got into this little habit of like writing down what to plant. Maybe that was a plan here. And then at the back, I might not have started any. Oh yeah, here we go. I have. I just start writing my downfalls as the season goes. So then when I'm planning, yeah, I have, you know, I know where to improve next year. So happy spring, everybody. It is still spring because what are we up to? It is the 27th of October. As I am finishing the recording of this, I promise I'll try and edit and get it done ASAP. I am also editing the dragon fruit one, which may have got posted before I post this. But anyway, I hope some of those tips helped you, got you motivated to get out in the garden. And also, if there's something more particular you want, totally just leave it in the comments. If you want these to be more specific about certain things, I am literally just doing the most random stuff and hoping you enjoy it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll be back.